Heading to the airport today. Welcome back to CBS Mornings, 7:30 now. 2 days before Christmas, 8 days before the new year, and millions of Americans are already on their way to holiday destinations. That is despite the latest COVID surge. AAA is saying that more than 109 million people will travel 50 miles or more between today and January 2nd, and more than 6 million are expected to fly. That is a 184% increase over last year. CBS News senior travel advisor Peter Greenberg joins us now with what you need to know. Peter, good morning. Great to see you. A lot of people are rusty when it comes to travel. They didn't go anywhere last year. What do they need to know as they walk out the door this morning?
Boy, where do you start? First of all, you got to pack your patience, understand the staffing levels are still a problem at airports, airlines, hotels, restaurants, anywhere you need to go. They're not going to fix those staffing problems until March or April next year at the earliest. So, get ready for delays either way you look at it. And of course, the intangible, weather.
Yeah. What about cancellations? Are there more people backing out than was expected? Is this a lighter travel season than anticipated?
Well, I'll give you a qualified yes. On international trips, people are canceling their trips, but that doesn't mean they're going to not travel. In fact, they're rebooking on Plan B or Plan C of their destination in this country. And in fact, U.S. airlines are reporting no uptick in cancellations. They're going to be full at about 90 to 95% load factors. In fact, United Airlines says they're on track to fly 420,000 passengers every day.
Peter, we live in a world where testing policies change on a daily basis. How can international travelers prepare for what could be testing at these places?
Well, Nate, they're not just changing on a daily basis, they're testing on an hourly basis. So what we're seeing right now is you can't keep up with the changes. Switzerland, for example, got rid of their mandatory quarantine on December 4th. Now they're adding additional testing when you enter the country. Thailand, which got rid of their mandatory quarantine, just reinstituted it on a 10-day basis, which means they've essentially closed the country. So my advice is this is not the time to just go online to the CDC or a consulate for a country. Get on the phone and have a conversation with a travel agent or a travel advisor who can walk you through the latest, or you could be disappointed.
I never get travel insurance, Peter. Do you think we should do that now in these uncertain times?
Well, in theory, it's a great idea to do it, but that was the #2 level of complaints in 2020 and this year among passengers who bought insurance only to find out it was worthless. Because for most people who book online, you can't complete the travel transaction unless you opt in or opt out of the insurance, and you have no idea what you're buying, what you're covered, and even worse, what you're not covered for. So my advice is, once again, talk to a human being a third party, don't necessarily buy it from the airlines or the travel provider, so they can walk you through the hieroglyphics of that policy language. So not only do you know what you're covered for, but most importantly, what you're not covered for.
The hieroglyphics is right. Yeah, it can be hard to find a human being, though. It really can.
I know. What happens if you're traveling and you get stuck and you have to quarantine because you tested positive? Does travel insurance cover that cost, or is that out of pocket for you?
Some of it does, and in fact, in some countries right now, like Costa Rica, the Turks and Caicos, you're actually required to buy an insurance policy. It goes out to about $10 a day, which will cover you for that. Many resorts and destinations, especially in the Caribbean and Mexico, offer another opportunity to get you there in the first place, saying that if you do test positive, they'll pay for you to quarantine at their expense and at their location, and they'll fly you back. Again, this requires a conversation. You don't do this online.
Yeah, it's hard to get a person on the phone, though, Peter. Just saying.
Pack your patience. That was tip number one.
That was tip number one. Peter Greenberg, thank you so much. We appreciate you giving us the information that we need to know.